Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello.
We're back. Look at this. Back on the internet. That's good.
I realized I don't have my glasses on.
Do you need to see yourself? We're straight in, straight away. But how do I look? What about me?
It's part of a look. People won't recognize me.
Yeah. Like, even though our names are at the bottom.
And I just said my name. But other than that, people might not recognize me.
Do you want to go and get them?
You used to wear glasses as well.
Well, yeah, but what's that got to do with anything? Look at you with a water battery. Have you been watching a lot of TV recently? But what about you used to need to refract the light before it entered your eyes, Steve? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. What about ITV presenters? They're not. Oh, no, they are. Anyway, we won't talk about any allegedly.
Welcome. This episode is another one that's pre-recorded. Not just because we're busy, but because of some of the topics we might be talking about. We really needed to be pre-recorded this time.
For legal reasons, we needed to make sure. I mean, we could have a big impact on the debate over certain topics with our reach and our audience. Someone just asked me recently, are you still doing that thing with Steve?
Hey, fame.
This thing is happening right now, and you are one of hundreds of people watching it.
Yeah. Still, they're better figures than we used to get when we performed live on a Tuesday night doing topical comedy in South Bank. So I still take this as a win.
Yep, and this feels a lot like being underneath a slug and lettuce. So welcome to a show where we're going to solve some problems. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to, like the show, or like the thumb up thing. And you can contribute to the show. The Ko-fi link is there. You just have to push the dust off of it first, and then you can donate money. I didn't know you could have dust on a clickable button, but it turns out you can.
Yeah, somehow they bothered to invent that for us. Yes, anything you could contribute would help, because I'm off to Edinburgh next month, so got to take a financial slap for that.
Yep, and I might need to buy new glasses. I don't know.
My glasses? It's like watching an episode of Scooby-Doo.
My glasses. Nope.
You're watching a middle-aged man trying to find his glasses. I mean, that's a rare thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's crack on. We've got some stories, and I know people are on the edge of the seat to find out what's happening in the news and what problems need to be solved. Now, this is one which is a marriage of art, tech, and just serendipity, I think. This was something that I saw as a headline with comedian Sarah Silverman is suing Chat GPT for breach of copyright. Now, for those of you who are also over the age of 50 like me and don't know what Chat GPT is, it's basically an AI, artificial intelligence, that has been scooping up billions upon billions of data on the internet, and then it kind of allows you, it's like a Google, but in text form, and it lets you type in questions and it gives you answers. I mean, I suppose you can give a more technical answer.
It's
than
like
what
Google,
it is.
but in text form. It's like the Google.
Google's got the pictures. It's like if Ask Jeeves could actually answer questions.
Wow. Yeah. They should have just called it, because they Google now owns. Yeah. Oh, that's what, because ChatGPT is not Google, it's Bard. But they should have called Bard Jeeves. Because we already would have known what to do.
Yeah. So to get all this information, they go through open source data. But the problem is open source is not always there legally. People download things illegally. I know that's a shock to you, Steve, but they do. They do.
Oh.
And I know. So Sarah Silverman has written some books, apparently, and she's accused ChatGPT of, when you type in stuff to ChatGPT, so you just type in sentences, you can ask questions and so on, it's come back with source material from her books, which she didn't give them permission to do it. Oh. So she's saying, I'm going to sue you because you did have the right to my material. So copyright is very important, of course, to an artist, because that's all we have, and ChatGPT is about to replace all of us. If there isn't anything more to prove that ChatGPT isn't going to replace us, if we go back to that headline again and we look at the article, who's advertising in the advert above the article? ChatGPT via WhatsApp.
They're everywhere.
It makes me feel like ChatGPT might win this fight. So who better to comment on this than ChatGPT itself? I went to ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT if it is stealing material from people, and it said no. So that's pretty much it. I then asked about Sarah Silverman suing ChatGPT and if it had any comment on that, and it said that nothing in ChatGPT is newer than 2021. So anything that has happened beyond that time, it can't comment on either. Since this is happening now, it only comments on things that are roughly 2 years old. So, I mean, 2 years ago, you were on national television, Steve. Remember?
Yeah, so ChatGPT still thinks I'm famous. Don't tell it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's true. You were a presenter on the BBC, weren't you?
Mm. Yep.
And you're currently no longer appearing on the BBC, are you?
Yep. More on that later.
Let's not type that into ChatGPT. So I went back to ChatGPT again because I thought, well, pre-2021, that's when you and I were doing shows together. And, so I thought I'd put in there to see what it put together for the two of us as an experiment. But when I went to ChatGPT just now, let me see, I'm going to refresh it. You're watching a man refresh his screen live on a pre-recorded video with no glasses. It wasn't working. So I think ChatGPT knew that I was doing I think basically under my login, asking ChatGPT if it steals material, that filtered through, and now ChatGPT has locked me out.
Yeah.
I could try and go on Bard, I suppose, to see if they'll slag each other off.
You should get ChatGPT chatting with Bard and ask them both to do like your mama jokes. And then just let it go, but let it go for like a year. And by the time you get back, I wonder how deep down they've gone into the your mama jokes.
Yeah, I could try. Let's see. Well, I could ask Bard. Bard is coming up here. Let's just quickly ask Bard. Does ChatGPT steal information? And let's see what it says for Bard. And if it comes up with an answer quickly, otherwise we'll pick up on this thread with our investigative journalism, where we ask AI what AI is doing.
More on that story later. Yeah. I love. Wasn't there was a story? Oh, has it got results already?
Yeah, Bard, which is Google's version of ChatGPT, said, yeah, ChatGPT is a bitch. That's what it says.
Wow. There was on the radio show that I do, we keep a little graph of what the news is saying about AI. Because so far, this is the story. AI was invented. We were told it would ruin exams. People would cheat at exams. Then we were told it would end humanity. It's quite a big step between threat 1 and threat 2. Then it was that Simon Cowell would be replaced. They will launch nuclear weapons. They will replace musical artists. And then they'll start doing NHS surgery. Really, because I think if ChatGPT, if AI has to perform surgery on humans, it won't kill as many of us because it'll have to make work for itself. It's not stupid. It's intelligent. It's one of the words. So that's good. And now we know that AI is going to nick stuff from artists. So maybe it is like humans. Did you see the scandal of the person who tried to attack the Queen in the trial blamed it on AI? He said that he was chatting to his AI girlfriend.
Yes, I saw
his
that.
AI girlfriend. Well, the headlines were all saying things like, AI told me to do it. But you read the actual transcript, he said, I was thinking of going to attack the Queen. And the AI says, yeah, go for it. It's not really like you can blame the AI. The AI wasn't going like, hello, Dave. I need you to do something, Dave. It wasn't like that. It was more about, it was just being supportive. The AI girlfriend was being supportive. So in many ways, there's a lot to do before they become like real girlfriends. I read the whole transcript, and in 14 pages, never made it about her problems. So honestly, so much work that the advance needs to be in there. Old school jokes, keeping it old school.
Keeping old school.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're up to date with AI. Oh, we'll see how that goes. Should we do the big story then?
Yeah, what is it? Hit me.
There is a new story about, it involves a young person. It involves a very famous man. It involves sexual impropriety, probably. Carrie has given birth to Boris Johnson. No, wait a minute. That's not the one I was after. It's very close, but it's not quite the one I was after. Yes, nice. The story is about someone at the BBC is in trouble for buying nude pictures from a young person. We don't know who it is. They did say it was a news presenter. And as Google now says, if you search for me, it calls me a news presenter. Looks like I picked the wrong time to get into news presenting. Not that I did, but technically I am. So we don't know who it is. But we know what happened. In fact, here's the many headlines for the last few days have had this kind of picture. Can I just say, at some point, AI will be able to identify people from their profile, from their silhouette. And whoever it is who's in all those pictures will be absolutely done in. That stock image that you posed for in 1998, it's been used ever since. And now you've been linked to every single scandal. You're an absolute wrong, and you'll never be allowed in anywhere ever again. The thing that does bother me, though, it's not a million miles away from me, is it? I mean, they really are. It's more of a shaven head and wearing a T-shirt, but...
Got your hairstyle.
Damn it.
I think we can... Not me.
We still can't rule me out. This is a very tricky time. Although I did rule myself out on Twitter, as so many celebs did, because, well, in theory, we don't know who it is. But according to the Daily Mail, 1 in 6 people know who scandal hit BBC star is. And we can go as far as to say if 1 in 6 know it, then we both know it. So watching this right now, hopefully another 10 people who don't know it, because that could be some of our highest figures. Because we are both aware, so this is why we're pre-recorded, because no one wants to make a slip up and say the thing that we're not allowed to say, but we know who it is.
Yeah.
And the 1 in 5, so 1 out of 5 knows who it is. The 4 out of 5 seem to have spent the last few days on Twitter accusing everyone else. There have been so many of these accusations, people just picking a celeb and going all in. And especially when you kind of know who it is, reading these tweets, the level of conviction that they are so sure that it is these people. Nicky Campbell's been in the news saying, not only denying it, but just saying what a horrible weekend he had to go through. Jeremy Vine's threatened legal action. For me, a couple of things on the Jeremy Vine thing. I was on Jeremy Vine's show a few days before, posted a tweet about me talking about my parents' Alzheimer's with a video clip. The Jeremy Vine show retweeted it. Jeremy Vine retweeted it. I'm getting a lot of eyes talking about this issue, and it's an issue we all need to talk about. But thanks to people on the internet just throwing out names, underneath my tweet, just the word nonce. People have written nonce a few times. Great. It's good. Yeah, I can hide those replies, but you can see them if you want. So thanks, people who are getting it really wrong on the internet. Some of my favourite stuff with this is people have been doing like selection boards of different male celebs. I saw someone tweet it. I for legal reasons, couldn't recreate it here, but they had loads of male celebs saying, which one do you think it is? You funny, funny person, because even if you've magically managed to get one of them right, you've just defamed the other 5. It's a guaranteed way of getting sued. Jeremy Vine was threatening legal action against one of them. And it's a bloke called Adam. I've got his tweet here. I don't know if you saw some of his responses.
I saw.
This guy, he said, I only drink at the weekends. Being retired, this helps to break up the week and restores that Friday feeling anyone who still works gets. When, beep, like many others, I send daft tweets, which I delete the following morning. Perfectly normal behaviour displayed by thousands of Twitter users. Wrong on so many levels. If your excuse is, well, I have to get drunk on the weekends, otherwise how am I meant to feel? You've got bigger issues. But it's not perfectly okay to get drunk and call people the words that you call them. So anyway, he's hopefully going to get sued. There's some, as we plow on with the story, this is why it's a big problem. Actually, the many people have been asking, is it illegal, the accusation? But the accusation is that the pictures of the young person were when they were 17. So, legally speaking, the legal age of consent in the UK is 16, but it is a crime to make or possess indecent images of anyone under the age of 18. So if you are a celebrity, finding yourself wanting to buy pictures of someone who's 16 or 17, for the love of God, just fuck them. And is that what we were trying to say? I think we got that. We got that wrong. Can we check on that? Is that the legal advice? That's the legal advice. You seem to have a comment on that. Did you not see that coming? Not even written down. Look at that. So anyway, then the scandal was carrying on, and the next thing you know, I was watching the telly. Breaking news. Turns out it's all rubbish. So the lawyers, and there's a video that I've done online about the lawyers. They're called Child and Child, which just makes it really confusing. They have said that they represent the person who sold the pictures, and there's nothing illegal. This is one of those unwise but not illegal type situations that seem to crop up in TV quite a lot. But the newspapers are really kind of upset about it. Even the Daily Mail pointed out that the claims are that it's rubbish. And a lot of this comes down to, do you hate the BBC or not? Because there's one tribe that wants the BBC to disappear because they skew the commercial market for those in the world of media. And there's the other tribe who just don't like the Daily Mail. I think that's probably the way it goes. That's what it all seems to boil down to. I've had loads of arguments online about this. Some people, their argument as to why it definitely is the person they've named, and you'll go, how do you know that? They go, oh, the BBC, honestly, it should be defunded. That's a different topic. What, eh? There's, these ones. I can't remember what these ones are. Oh, yeah, Lee Anderson. So bearing in mind, this is the person who represents where I'm from, something in Ashfield, up north. He said in the Express, the BBC is a safe haven for perverts and wants to scrap the licence fee. I think the way that Politics Joe framed it even better, they quoted him as saying, it's time this taxpayer-funded state haven for perverts was made a subscription service. Because if you're a safe haven for perverts, you really should have a subscription model, you know, like OnlyFans. So he's saying that the BBC, regardless of whether this story is true or not, the BBC is fundamentally a safe haven for perverts, and we need to get rid of it. Meanwhile, it's not as if the Tory party are without their own. And there's only 2 headlines that got there out for the potential 15 MPs who are suspended. Not all of them from the Conservatives, but, you know, get your own house in order. So I think we're kind of up to date with the story. We don't really know what's going to happen from it. We don't know whether it was illegal. We don't know what happens next.
Before we finish the pre-record, let's see if the person's been named. Yeah,
I predict. Well, I think I wrongly predicted by Wednesday, but because obviously this goes out Wednesday these days, we're running a risk.
We could just miss it. Yeah, there was one person who was potentially floated, but is not the person. So do you think it's safe for me to say, if I qualify, this is not the person, but it would have been funny if it was?
Yeah,
that's a safe thing to say.
Yeah,
you've got to.
I'm talking about you're right. It's just it would be funny if it was. I don't know if I think legally that's opinion. Yeah. So you are like Ofcom. This is not even governed by Ofcom yet. So go for it.
Yeah. So you've got a little one. So you're starting to watch CBeebies.
Yeah.
Right. There's one presenter who's on pretty much every television show on CBeebies. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
If it was him, I mean, that would wipe out the entire channel.
Do people think that the person we're talking about? I mean, imagine that being a webcam guy logging onto your OnlyFans account, seeing the person you're chatting to, and they come on and go, "Hello."
I mean, he's got to be on 6 figures. He's on every fucking show that the CBeebies has produced over the last 20 years. But they wouldn't have any content.
He's giving it away. We're friends. Thank you.
But it is not him, and we don't think it is him. We're not even saying who that could be. That impression was terrible. That could be anyone.
Could be anyone. Could be anyone. And if I met him, I'm sure we'd be friends. So it's fine.
I'm so glad you can join this world, because I've been in the children world for a long time. And you're new to this, and you've had to sit through that shit now.
I love it. It's the only time I'm learning sideboard. I'm learning now. It's
good. Isn't that send me a picture?
Send me nudes. Send nudes. I wonder why that was in this week's episode. I didn't think that was inappropriate. Oh, we can't. Do you reckon? Your original statement was fine, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we've then done. It's okay.
I set you up to do all of the heavy lifting there, so I'm fine with that.
I'm just doing my impressions are famously terrible. I did a Nigel Farage impression on GB News the other day, which I didn't think anyone would notice, but apparently it ended up in some BBC WhatsApp groups.
I thought it was actually fairly passable.
Oh, thank you. I imagine also BBC WhatsApp groups then got busy with other stuff a few days later, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine as well. It's probably good to not be on a BBC WhatsApp group right now. That we can say.
Yeah. And also, it's definitely not me. As loads of people have pointed out on the internet, and thank you for this comment, as if I have 35 grand spare. You bastards. As if that's the only reason.
Yeah, I mean, and for you to be a six-figure salary person with the BBC would only work if they took chunks of your money and laid them out. 100,
Yeah,
150.
those repeat fees have dried up. Put it that way.
So, final story. I don't have a headline for this, but there's a common saying in the U.S. That justice delayed is justice denied, unless, of course, you're a former president of the United States, in which case justice denied is I might be reelected president again and I can pardon myself. So we should be finding out in the next few days whether or not the initial court case for stealing government documents or withholding them and not returning them, obstruction of justice on Donald Trump, will move forward or not, because the Trump appointed judge who's overseeing the case is reviewing petitions to have the case deferred until after the election, because Donald Trump says essentially not only is he too famous to have a fair jury, but also he's just too busy running for president to sit for trial. And it would be unfair of himself and his co-defendant, who is his valet. He's busy as well. Neither of them have time with this trial, the other trials that he's going through, the civil trials that he's going through, and trying to become president again.
That is so good. That is so clever.
Who's got time for that?
Yeah. Imagine you could, because look, I got skilled at getting out of jury service. Don't get me wrong, but I did because there was a pandemic. So really, I got very fortunate. But imagine that you could show that you can get out of a trial because you're too busy. You just show them a Google Calendar that's got lots of color in it, and then when you actually zoom in to see why you're busy, it's other trials. Wow! Look how innocent I am. I'm on trial at 7 different places.
One of the reasons why he said he couldn't give back the boxes and they kept him was because he was too busy to give back the boxes, and now he's too busy to sit for the trial for not giving back the boxes.
Well, he's a busy man. He's got a lot of boxes to read.
He's a busy man. So, and you'd think with a valet that'd free up some of his time, but no, because he's got to help his valet get lawyers as well.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult time, and we feel for him, and we just need to give him the space to eventually pardon himself.
Yeah. Do you reckon he'll do it instead of the 2 turkeys? It's a Thanksgiving pardon.
Well, the 2 turkeys will hopefully, I'm sure his sons will both be hoping to be those 2 turkeys.
Because he's probably got a team of people looking into it, and he can't pardon himself, but he can pardon turkeys, and the definition of turkey is not written down anywhere. Something like that.
Yeah.
As long as he identifies as a turkey.
I'm sure he wrote himself a pardon before he left office.
Yeah. Just a future one for whatever I get up to.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't pardon yourself for future crimes, and he hadn't committed the obstruction of justice when he left office.
So now he needs to travel back in time. There's almost evidence of him traveling back in time. Have you seen the AI-generated meme of Donald Trump dressed as a soldier?
Oh God, yes. I've seen the image. I hadn't seen it as a photo, not like a.
Yeah. No, it's not real. I don't think they ever dressed him. So maybe it's not a bit of CGI.
It's not a GIF, it's a meme.
That's true. And I saw someone from your nation, some right-leaning person, and it's not like me to comment on other people's tweets. It's kind of not what I do. But I was on the loo, and someone had posted that picture saying, "What do you see?" And there were loads of people saying, like, the bravest man in history, the man who will save us all. And I just had to post under it some good news about those bone spurs. It didn't go down well. It's weird, isn't it? Didn't go down well.
Yep. Got to be careful posting little snarky comments on Twitter. Get you banned for a comedy club or 2.
Oops. It's all right. Most of my tweets have people dropping the N-bomb, but not that N-bomb, the other one.
It was spelled with a K.
Like, as if you've made an anagram of Beyonce Knowles.
Like a gnome. Not another word for it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, some of them sit on toadstools. I think we got away with it. We also didn't name anyone. I think we've done it. We've got through all the topics, and we didn't say anything that means I've got to go back and bleep out sections. Could have done this live.
We could just pretend to. You could just say that I think the person who did that is...
There was a beep. I pressed the beep button.
Oh, I didn't hear the beep. No. But should I move my mouth while you press the beep? I think the person is...
No, because actually you'll say it and then no, because people will lip read it. It's really easy to lip read that name.
I just said watermelon.
Ah, watermelon? The old
Did you
blues
beat that?
player. You kidding me? Old watermelon blues player.
Hmm.
I'll get the harmonica out and play like watermelon.
Not a BBC CBB presenter.
Thank
Very
you.
clear. I love that, because 2 years ago you would have been like, who the fuck are you talking about? But now you are in it.
Yep. I tell you what, I'd be really upset if it was someone from the Go Jetters. No, not the Go Jetters. Surely they're above
I think
board.
the Go Jetters are new. I haven't seen them.
Well, I've been
Are they good?
interviewed. I've been interviewed by the Express about my TV watching habits, and it comes out hopefully before Edinburgh, but if not, and you know me, I don't watch TV, so it was really difficult. I had to make up a lot of stuff, and loads of 90s shows got referenced because I'm old. But also they said, what's your current guilty secret? The Go Jetters, because it's the only show I watch. But I've learned so much about the world from it that, I mean, I would have said the whole one that teaches you sign language, but I'm glad I didn't now.
Well, that's all right. If you want to feel old, my daughter is visiting universities at the moment, so I'm at another end of the life scale. We took a tour of the university at Cambridge University, which we're looking at, you know, the real one, and we were touring.
What's the fake one in Cambridge? Is it the Anglia Polytechnic or something? Because Oxford and Oxford Brookes. What's the?
They're all very good schools, but we're in the big library, which was designed by the guy who built the Tate, whoever that dude is. So it looks exactly like the Tate. Yeah, he had one idea. It makes everything look the same tower thing. Yeah. But anyway, she takes us through the first part, and she says, this is called card catalogs. And these are part of the listed building. We can't even touch them. And I went, oh, I used to have to look up books by that when I was at university. And the librarian went, I didn't have to do that. Well, fuck you.
The thing that made me feel old recently was one of the sound people in the TV place where I review newspapers. For some reason, we were chatting about animals, and I was saying, oh, yeah, we've got 2 cats. And she said, oh, what they're called? And I said, French and Saunders. She went, all right. You know, you can just tell there's no connection. I was like, you know why we call them French and Saunders? Something to do with Ab Fab? Yeah, kind of. Oh, I felt so old. I said, you know Dawn French? Oh, I love her in The Vicar of Dibley. Oh, my God. I told her that they used to do comedy together back in the 1950s. She believed that. So that's how old she thinks I am.
Oh, and no wonder presenters are attracted to young people. Anyway, of legal age.
Yeah.
So, right, I've got to shoot off to find my glasses. And
splendid. And I don't know what I've got to plug. Tomorrow, the day when this goes out, I'm recording a podcast with someone in America. So I'll plug that next week if it goes out. Look at you, Honor. The Americans are getting interested in my work.
I think I'm gigging up by you this weekend. Bishop Scrotford.
Bishop Scrotford, yep. That seems to be where you're...
Scrotumford?
Right, yeah.
Anyway, I'm up at Bishop
Scrotford. And I'm performing in Bethnal Green this weekend at the Backyard Comedy Club. Eric? It's good place, isn't it? Great stage, great audience.
Yep.
Shame we don't do it anymore.
Anyway. Tweets you shouldn't send. Anyway, so yeah, we should be back next week. And then after that, we've got some holiday coming up. So we might need to look at the August schedule. We might...
Well, I don't think I can do them when I'm in August. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Edinburgh.
When you're... Because you're, yeah, that's right. The Fringe. So that'll be it. That could kill it.
Try and see. We could try and see if we restart in September, but it depends if people are going to watch. So
yeah, pencil that in as a reminder, everyone.
Yeah, or whatever comes first. But I think we're up to date. Yeah. So
I think that we are. There we are. See you later.
Bye. Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.